Model Making Guru is sponsored by emodels.co.uk. Make something awesome. Hey everyone, it's Foxx from modelmaking.guru here. Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of my partwork build series of DeAgostini's Build Your Own X-Wing, at the end of which we will have a 1/18 scale X-Wing fighter of our very own. In this episode, I'm looking at issue 19. Now, as always, we'll have a quick look at the magazine first, and true to form, it's got some background stuff on the movies, it's got some fluff, and then it's got the buildy part. Now, starting off in the magazine, we're going back, as we did in the last issue, we're going back to the special editions. Yeah, remember, my generation, we don't like to talk about this much, but again, this is focusing on some of the good things that came from the special editions. For example, adding more ships to the Battle of Yavin. It talks about how they added extra X-Wings and Y-Wings and how they made them look a bit better, a bit more, active and lively and mobile. And also, I hadn't realised this, because it's so long since I saw the unspecial edition, like the originals. The bit where you see outside the Yavin Rebel base and there's the bloke in the big tower. How does he... let's just, for start off, how does he get up there? It's like a bit he stands in and then a stick. That could be 100 feet high. How does he... Nobody ever... Is he there forever? Do people just have to send him... I don't know how it works. Poor man. He's got no shelter from the elements and he has to stand up there and... I don't know. Anyway, I never realised this, but on the original movie, they were just dots of light in the distance, as if flying off to the space. However, they added the actual X-Wings flying over, and I'm so used to seeing the sort of special edition, the revamped one, that I'd forgotten the original was just little points of light. I'd forgotten that completely. So these were good things that George Lucas did with the computer graphics. Everything other than that was just garbage, and we've had this conversation, so we'll have it again. We've got some fluff and lore. We're going back to the Clone Wars series and Asajj Ventress. I have to admit, it's been a long time since I've actually watched the Clone Wars series, so I've kind of forgotten most of it, I will be honest. But yes, I've forgotten who she is and all that kind of stuff. And it talks about her ship, the Jinvex class Fanblade Starfighter. I think they were just making stuff up at this point. And then we crack on to the building, which is, we're starting on New Wing. So let me go and get all the bits ready and we'll crack on. Okay, so as you can see, we don't have a lot of parts here. We are starting on the next wing, of course. So let's crack on. Now, I'm going to show you something interesting today, because the first thing we need to do is make the barrel for the laser cannon. Now, if you remember on my other wing, when I made that, my barrel was like wibbly wobbly, and I was trying to think how I was going to come around to getting it to not be wibbly wobbly. It wasn't a very good fit, so I don't know if this will have the same problem, but if it does, I have an awesome solution. So all we need to do, we get our big fat metal tube and our little thin metal tube and our widget that goes in the middle. That goes in there. Oh, that's quite tight. Oh, very tight. Hang on. Oh. Hang on, try to get it in. Ooh. This may not be quite as wibbly wobbly then in that case. Let's try it this way. Oh. There, you can see it's actually carved out some of the little plastic from inside there. That's a very tight fit. Now, this is the true test. Let's see how well this goes together. Here goes. This is much tighter than last time. There we go. Right. Okay, that went together beautifully, and that is firm and stiff, matron, and is not going anywhere. So I don't know what happened with the first barrel that I made. Maybe it's just the plastic bit was a bit too small. So all I did was, if you do get a wibbly wobbly barrel where it's a bit, it doesn't really grip, I took myself some 3M 3434 tape. 3434 says on the inside. Get some of this. Take a piece of the tape and cut a strip like that. Doesn't have to be thick, it can be quite thin. There. And that's what you want. Now, the reason I suggest the 3434 tape is because it's exactly the right width. Right, fabulous news, I found a spare one, and as you can see, yeah, it's not even, if I do that, it's not It's not even staying in place. Now, I did take it off once or twice and it kind of sheared some of them off a little bit, but even before then, it wasn't staying in place very well. So this is the solution you need, so I can show you properly. So you've got your 3-4-3-4 tape, cut a strip. You don't want it too fat, you just want it to be about that thick. There we go. Now the reason you don't want it too fat is if it goes too far down this plastic component here, then when you jam the metal tube on top, it's just going to splunge down and stick out and be messy. So get it on there. If you can, stick it above the little flares that stick out the side. Get it on there, get it on quite tightly. Wrap it round, and that should be just about the right thickness. Now when you put this piece on, it will go on. What you want to do is don't just jam it down, rotate it left and right a little bit and gently apply it. And what you'll find is it'll go on, but it'll still be a little bit wobbly. So again, don't just pull it on and off, rotate it round just so it kind of gently goes on and doesn't mangle all this tape. So what I'll do, I'll get me super glue, I'll put them there. I'll get me super glue. So I've got my super glue. Take that bit off, get a big dot of super glue on some plastic or somewhere you can use it. Handy tip with super glue, when you're finished squeezing out your glue, get some tissue and get the end off. Don't stick your finger on it. And that just means it reduces the chance of it jamming up when you come to use it again and blocking off. And because if you leave glue on there, it'll go rock hard and then close the entrance up and you'll just have to throw the glue away. So always wipe your tip, gentlemen and ladies. So we're going to get a cocktail stick and we're going to be a little bit generous. We're going to put it all over here. We want it to be a fairly generous amount, not massively dribbling everywhere, but fairly generous amount. Dot it on in blobs. So you've got a nice bead of super glue. Put that there, move that out of the way. And then repeat the procedure. Quick as you can, get it on there. Splooge, it's on. Just make sure you've not got any excess dribbling out. If you have, get your tissue again, just wipe off the excess very quickly. You have to be quick about it. Line it up on your desk. Make sure it's all straight and true. Yep, that looks straight and true to me. There we go. And that is now, I'll get some kicker. A little bit of kicker. Which smells fantastic. It's weird kicker stuff. It smells, what am I using? I'm using BSI Bob Smith Industries Instaset. It smells like some sort of, but it's weird. It starts off smelling like some sort of cake, and then after a minute it smells like hot rubber. It's very strange. So that is now on there, rock hard. The tape gives it more grip, so the tape is holding it in place. It's not going to come off, and the glue just locks it. But the reason you want to use a thick CA glue, like the thick stuff, slow cure, don't use thin and don't use fast cure, because if you get this on, if you splunge this metal tube down and it's not quite straight and you line it up and you're screwed. You've now got a thing that's permanently at a funny angle. You have to break it off. If you do mess it up and you need to remove this, handy tip for CA glue, if you need to get this off again, all you do is put this in the freezer for an hour, take it out and snap it, and the super glue will be very brittle once it's been frozen. So get it in the freezer, snap it off, there you go, done. So that is now nicely glued in place, and that will never come off unless I bang it around. So there you go, handy tip. I'm glad I found that spare one to show you. Anyway, enough waffle. Let's get these three bits built. So quite simply, this piece here, this piece here. We have to get this lined up like that. Making sure the part is this way round. So you've got the slab at the top. I can move it close now and you can see the tab at the top. That goes in like that. Spadink. No need to glue this in because it's a nice tight fit. And then this, quite simply, hole, slot, peg, slot, or tab. That goes in like that. Done. Thump. And that is it. No need to glue it again because that's rock solid. And that is it. That is it for this episode. We have those two parts. I'm really happy that's rock solid. I think when I got my first issue, I think I just had a slightly smaller plastic part because it was wibbly wobbly. Now I will say I got a second issue because I broke part of it and I glued part of it and broke something. I had to get replacement, so I had to rebuild the laser turret, and the second one I had was also wibbly wobbly, but this isn't. So I think maybe there was a first production run of the magazines where they had the plastic bit here was just not quite right. It had shrunk a bit in the die. So anyway, that's going to do it. Thank you very much for watching. As always, don't forget to check out the descriptions and the links in the descriptions below the video. That'll give you all the ways you can support this channel through Patreon or through my Amazon store or through Goblin Gaming, and all of the ways you can help support this channel and keep it going, keep the lights on. But until next time, stay tuned for the next episode. I will say, take care of yourselves. Go make something awesome like this. Go be awesome. You there, go be awesome. And until next time, I shall say, adios, amoebas.